Hello and welcome to lesson 14 of the MASUDA ASI introductory course. In the previous lesson I said that was the second of two lessons regarding the predictor line group, but I actually made a mistake and there is one more lesson, this lesson now, lesson 14, which we will review some of the predictor line group concepts and have a look at some applications as well using the chart. Now, first of all, just to recap some of the MASUDA ASI basics, we've talked at length about how pink signifies an uptrend and blue signifies a downtrend. As you can see here, pink the uptrend, blue for a downtrend, and also each of these MASUDA ASI real bodies, the length. The longer the real body, the greater the share price energy. The shorter the body, the weaker the share price energy. So we have the color and the length of the real bodies when discussing and when reading the MASUDA ASI chart. These are the two basics upon which everything else is based. We also talked about the MASUDA ASI shadows, the 3 period, 25 period and 75 day period. And more recently we've been talking about the predictor line group, the white line being the reference point or the basis line, the red line being the line for 3 days ago, the green line for 25 days ago, and the yellow line for 75 days ago in the case of the daily chart. When we were discussing the basic chart patterns as well, we said that the medium term line, this 25-day medium term MASUDA ASI real body line, was the key indicator of whether we were in an uptrend or in a downtrend. So to watch out for the change in color of the medium term 25-day line from pink to blue or vice versa. And also when in an uptrend, when the medium term line is pink, we talked about how the short term line typically rides above the medium term line. In this case we have a dead cross where the short term line has broken below the medium term line. Now this could just be a deep dip when we were talking about dips in the context of an overall larger uptrend. Sometimes the short term line pulls back and often rebounds again before hitting the medium term line, but in this case it has come through the medium term line in a dead cross. Now, is this just a deep dip, or does it actually mean that we're in the initial stages of a declining trend? Well, as of this day we've had a successive run of blue MASUDA ASI real body lines, but now we have a pink real body line. So what does this mean? And in fact, if we look at the prediction for the next day, it's blue again. Okay, now if we had gone back one day, when we were at this day, if we hit the F3 key to reset the basis line as of this day, our predictor was showing pink for tomorrow, which is actually how it did turn out. And if we look at the window into the future as well, it also showed pink. And as we just found out, it did end up pink, but the next day the prediction was blue. And because this is already several weeks ago, we have the latest data so we can see what actually happened. So let's take one more peek at one more day, and it did turn blue as predicted. So when we were at this point, we thought, okay, well, is this just a deep dip, a temporary pullback in part of an overall uprising trend, or is it the beginning of a decline? And if you notice that the pink real body itself is very, very short, which indicates weak energy, this may just be a temporary pink real body, which could then easily turn back into a blue body. So we don't have much confidence that this is actually an indicator of a near-term bottom that's going to bounce back again. So we have to keep this in mind. And what we can basically say is when we have fluctuating colors of the real Masuda Ashi real bodies, in this case from blue to pink and back to blue again, we call this a kind of like a drunk walking, you know, staggering from left to right, not sure if it's blue, not sure if it's pink. There's no kind of definite trend here at all, and it's a period in which the colors of the real bodies can change very easily. Conclusion: do not buy at this kind of under this kind of circumstances. It's best to just sit on the sidelines regarding this stock, even putting this aside and looking for another stock within the market that is going to have better profit potential, a better looking chart, so to speak. And don't worry about these ones that you really can't tell which way it's going to turn. It's not worth the time or the effort to try and base any investment decision on this, because it's better just left alone. In the topics first section, for example, in Japan there are about 1,700 stocks. There's plenty to choose from. One of the key success factors in investment is to know when to stay out of the market or stay out of particular stocks. So this would be a good time to actually stay out of this stock. Hopefully, if you had been following the rules that we've been discussing already, even if you had held this stock, you should have already taken profit or closed your position around this time, when you can see evidence of a downtrend. You would have wanted to have taken the profits already. What we were discussing before, whether this was a potential chance to buy on a dip, that's for someone who doesn't hold the stock. Assuming that they don't hold the stock, would it be a good time to buy in now? And the answer is no, because we don't know how the trend is going to pan out. And the main point, or the main purpose of the Masuda Ashi chart and other charting software, is to try and determine turning points and trends, and the Masuda Ashi chart is the superior chart in this respect, in that it provides these simple tools and rules to help you identify near-term tops, near-term bottoms, i.e. turning points, and also to identify trends at a glance using the colors pink, blue, the length of the Masuda Ashi real bodies, the Masuda Ashi shadows, and also the predictor line group, which we've discussed so far. Now, it's important from a Masuda Ashi chart perspective to be able to gauge the likely color of future Masuda Ashi real bodies, because this will help you identify turning points, hopefully in time to be able to take the opportunity to either buy into an attractive looking stock at an early stage, which is likely to go up, or to short sell or to take profits when stock price is looking to go down. This is the point of charting software, to identify these turning points. But another key factor is if you look at some of these sideways trading ranges, the length of the Masuda Ashi real bodies are very short, and they change often from blue to pink to blue to pink, and a little bit of a blue decline back to pink, blue. During this time of uncertainty, where the stock is either correcting or trading sideways, as you can see also here from the candlestick chart, it's best to stay out of this kind of stock. Hopefully, if you'd been in it already, you could identify the turning point here, or as indicative of the length of the Masuda Ashi real bodies getting shorter and shorter, indicating weaker energy and the downturn in the color, this would be a good time to have taken profits or to just close the position. But in these other times of trading sideways or correcting, the best thing is to stay out, and that's very important to know when to be in a stock or be in a position, for example a short sell position, and when to get out or when to exit the trade. So assuming that this was our today and we wanted to know what was going to happen in the future, we have the option of looking at the predictor box, which says tomorrow is going to be a blue Masuda Ashi real body. We can look at the window into the future, which also says blue, or we can gauge from the predictor line. So today's closing price is 2303. As of tomorrow, the 3-day prior closing price was 2304, which is higher than yesterday's closing price of 2303. So already the yesterday's closing price is below 2304. Whether or not it stays here or goes even lower, we don't know for sure, but there's a good likelihood that it may go lower, given that we are already in the initial phases of what looks to be a downtrend. If it does go above 2304 or higher, then the Masuda Ashi real body would be pink, but at this stage the predictor box is showing blue, as is the window into the future, and as we know from before, it actually did turn out to be blue.